What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and man has it been a week. But if you guys have been watching the channel or have been around for at least a little bit, you probably know that I released a video where I shot 500 rounds through the P365 and 500 rounds through this Hellcat, all in the same video, all in one sitting. You also got a bunch of unexpected stuff, like I shot my Glock 29 in 10mm, my Shield in 357 Sig, my Glock 30 SF in 45 ACP, and out of all those rounds, over 1,200 rounds, the only thing that had a true malfunction was my Glock 29. It was actually pretty upsetting and a little bit, it bothered me a little bit. But before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. If you're going to comment about me saying that every time, thank you for the comment. Anyways, let's get into it. Both these firearms are cleared and safety checked. And I want to explain why I went back to that grip module and all that. Why didn't I keep it quote-unquote stock? Well, anyways, as you know, both handguns performed great. But if you also seen my channel for a while, I have 4 P365 variants, right? I have 2 P365s, a 380 P365, and an X macro without the compensator, right? And the handguns that I have that run, they run. But I had 2 that had major issues. This particular upper and lower, this exact handgun right here, minus the Wilson combat frame, whatever, is the one that while shooting, it locked back, right? So there was a round in the chamber, it fed, but it got hung on something. So it was stuck in this point where the slide would not go back, it wouldn't go forward until I really worked on it, and then finally took it into my gunsmith, right? And he fixed it for me. So I've had great times with my P365. If you look back in videos, just to prove I'm not a SIG hater, I actually was carrying the P365. But then once I had that major malfunction, first of all, it was a really unsafe malfunction to have. 1, because the handgun was rendered useless at that point. But 2, a round was stuck in that chamber, and you just never know with certain firearms, right? Now the P365s don't have issues going off by themselves, so I wasn't worried about that. It's just whenever a handgun's got a round in the chamber, you gotta treat it carefully, right? Anyways, when I made that video, I realized the P365 is a great shooting handgun. I've always known that, but when I shoot the 2 back to back, accuracy is about the same. But if you noticed, I shot the P365 faster. The P365 had more muzzle flip, but the Hellcat definitely had more felt recoil, right? So this handgun had the upper edge a little bit on the Hellcat. Am I ever going to carry the P365 again? What's going on? Well, as I explained, I had those major issues. And since then, this handgun is close to or a little over 1,000 rounds, I forgot. Since we got it back from the gunsmith, 500 came from that video, and we had about 450 in it prior to making that video. And obviously, it ran fine, and it gained my respect. I talked about in a video, the P365, you know, even though it's not my favorite handgun in the world, it definitely earned my respect again, right? It's a smooth shooter. If you get the right grip module or put grips on it, it's pretty ergonomic. It's fast, that whole sort of thing. Everyone got on me and they're like, are you going to start carrying the P365 now? Are you going to ditch the Hellcat? With all those benefits, what's going on? It's been a roller coaster. Well, my final thoughts on the SIG P365 are this. It's a versatile handgun. The P365 is the reason I have this right here. My favorite handgun, or my second favorite handgun, right? Even though Kel-Tec was the original person who released the stack and a half, or you know, Micro 9, they were the ones to first release it. It didn't catch wind. SIG having the popularity, you know, the government contracts, whatever, all the other stuff really brings attention to the company. And that, therefore, we got the Shield Plus, the Hellcat, the Max 9, the IWI Masada Slim. I mean, I could keep going. The Kimber Mako R7. The list is just really long. Then you have all the larger variants. The GX4 Carry, the XL, the Hellcat Pro, the Shield Plus and 4-inch. So you have tons and tons of handguns that all came, 20, 30 different handguns that all came from the P365, making it popular, right? And another thing I want to mention is when I did have those malfunctions, the P365 was bone stock, completely stock, not even a change of grips. But if I were to carry this handgun, this is how I would do it. I would carry it with the Wilson Combat Grip Module, with the matching Wilson Combat base plate, because I like having it a little bit wider. That's one of my issues with the P365, is it just doesn't fit my hand the best because it's not the widest. But with that Wilson Combat Grip Module on there, it tends, you know, to feel really good. But on top of that, you shouldn't be having issues by changing out the grip module. They work closely with Sig and all these companies. Wilson Combat should have it, nailed down to the point where there are no issues, and I also have never had any issues. Does that mean I'm going to carry this handgun? I don't think I will. I have so many other great options that I already have in my rotation that I trust, and that I carry every single day, or for different scenarios. The P365 is one of those handguns that at the time, if it ran, did its thing, didn't have these issues, yes, I would have kept carrying it. But having 2 out of your 4 SIGs have major issues, that honestly has sort of scared me away from the handgun. Like I said, I know someone with a P365 with over 60,000 rounds. Yes, they had to change parts out, which is normal at 60,000 rounds with a small handgun like this. But I also know so many other people with major issues, and that's the #1 reason why I don't carry it. Not necessarily because mine had issues, but the fact that Sig is aware of these issues. Go on these threads, go on these message boards, go on the Sig Talks, right? People talk about the same issue that happened with mine happening with their P365. These are ones they bought in 2023, 2024, springs being out of spec. Also, you see all the things about the triggers, right? They're great shooting handguns. But that X trigger on the X Macro and the P365X and the XL, that trigger is basically doomed at 3,000 rounds. That is the word around. I talk to a lot of gunsmiths. Every firearm store I go into, I ask them about the problems they are aware about. I kid you not, and I always bring it back to you. And the #2 people are Kimber and Sig. I'm just being real with you. Glocks may not be the greatest thing on the eye. They may not have the best, accessories already on them, all the latest stuff. But you don't hear about them going back. Yes, there's lemons. Yes, there's Glocks that blow up. Every handgun has those issues. But the P365, since the day it came out, has been plagued with issues, and Sig has basically done nothing about it except for the first couple years of issues. That they fixed. But now they're at the point where they're making so much money that they'll take them being sent back every now and then, and they'll just do that replacement. That's quicker to them. Now, it's interesting that I said Kimber and Sig, because they said that this, someone really high up at Kimber is now really high up at Sig. And ever since they got there, their striker fire pistols have basically gone downhill. And by the way, I did get the Kimber Mako R7, so we will be doing that review soon, shooting review, that whole sort of thing, because I'm very excited about that. I think that's probably going to make it in my carry rotation, definitely over the P365. Now, is the P365 a bad handgun? No. Do I think you should sell yours and get rid of it? No. If you shoot yours well, if you test your defensive ammo, if you haven't had issues with it, just keep up on the maintenance, keep up on the cleaning, and I'm fine with you guys carrying a Sig P365. It's all about what you like and preference. I know people, like I said, 0 issues. I know tons of people with no problems. Nothing. But I also know a lot of people with issues, and I am one of those people. So that just sort of rubbed me wrong, but it's more about the fact that you know these issues are happening and you do nothing about it. That is the biggest thing to me. If you go out and make it right, and then all your next production or your next batch is just flawless, runs great, everything, then I am all for the Sig P365. But for me, a malfunction like that sort of just ruined it in my brain. Now, I do have a P365 XL that has had 0 issues. It's at about 1,700 rounds. It has the X grip, so we're getting close to that 3,000. I'm going to try and up it and get it to that point and see how that X trigger functions. But I would carry that one over this P365 all day long. And like I said, yes, I have an aftermarket grip module on it. That was not the cause of the issues. And I also shot it completely bone stock in the 500 round versus 500 round of the Hellcat. Who won out of the competition? Honestly, I'll say the P365 in terms of faster shooting and less recoil, but you can't beat reliability. Both of them were reliable in that video. But I have 4 Hellcats, never a single issue. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Nothing against Sig, I just don't plan on carrying it. Thanks for watching.